We are joined by Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. And Congresswoman, within the past hour of our conversation, the House narrowly passed a resolution to discontinue U.S. military action in Iran. Why did you vote against that resolution? And does it signal some eroding support for the war?
Well, it was it was more of a messaging bill. It's not going to actually prevent that from happening. It was a messaging bill pulled on by our Democrat colleagues who don't seem to understand the threat that we're facing right now in Iran. The fact is that the IRGC is a radical Islamist group that has claimed war on the U.S. almost 50 years ago, and whose goal is to destroy America. This is a group that has posed a threat to us around the world. Is currently lobbing missiles at our American defense forces in the Middle East. We are going to be recognizing a moment of silence on our floor today, out of respect for the four service members, including a 19-year-old woman from Carrollton who was killed in a blast from the Iranian regime into Jordan just last week. So we are going to continue to support this escalation until till the end, recognizing the fact that you have a regime that wants to destroy us, has been doing it for the last 47 years through various terrorist activities across the globe. And we need to make sure that this is a country that never gets nuclear weapons, that's ballistic missiles are taken out, and doesn't have the ability to hold the planet hostage by preventing energy and ships moving through the Strait of Hormuz.
Defense Secretary Hegseth recently testified that the cost of the war is now approaching about $38 billion. You recently just voted to pass a funding bill, a budget resolution to fund that war. Are you concerned that the costs will continue to
Yeah.
spiral
Let me be
without
clear.
some offsetting budget
Yeah.
cuts
Let me be
to
clear.
balance those costs?
The bill that we just passed was not about the Iran war. That was not what this was about. Attended a security briefing yesterday that's identified exactly what it was about. This bill of funding was more focused on making sure that our weapons of technology were being kept up to date, because after 4 years of the Biden administration basically ignoring our defense needs, we are now playing catch up. So that was what the funding was for. And it was a real shame that we had to go through a supplemental as opposed to just having an appropriation bill, that we're having to do this as a reconciliation package to be able to force the Senate, because we can't seem to get a handful of Democrat senators to be able to support America in this regard and to be able to protect our service members across the planet.
Are you comfortable with the cost of the war so far?
Again, this is a war long term that needed to be fought in order to be able to prevent further deaths. This peace through strength effort only matters if you are willing to show strength when it is important. I believe that happened. Too many presidents have said that their goal is to end the Iranian regime, to end the terrorist activities that we've seen. But then they went flaccid at the end and didn't do anything about it. You finally have an administration that is willing to punch the bully, which is Iran and the IRGC. My goal is to make sure that that happens as quickly as possible, that we are able to get our men and women out of harm's way by preventing, the nuclear capabilities of Iran. But I, along with most people, we don't want to see this escalate further, and we would like to see it end much sooner than later.
You mentioned Private Isabella Gonzalez, who is from North
Carol?
Texas in your district. I had a question. Her death, the ability of Iran to specifically target areas where American troops are living and sleeping, are you worried that their strength in that area has not been downgraded and more American troops will continue to be put at risk?
I think this puts an exclamation point into why this is a dangerous regime that has to be stopped. Exactly your point. They have been denying having these weapons. We know that this is a regime that lies over and over again. The very IRGC that we're trying to negotiate a ceasefire with, that has time and time and again abused that ceasefire, is the same group that we are trying to negotiate. The fact is that they're not doing it in good faith. They are biding their time, and they're going to try to do as much damage on their way out as possible. We've got to prevent that. But we don't want to see any further deaths. But this is a group that has to be stopped by the means that the U.S. has. We have the ability. We need to be able to have the strength and the backbone to complete the mission.
And it was President Trump who declared that Iran, they had destroyed Iran's ability to target US troops in the region. Was he mistaken?
Again, I think what you're seeing is this is a regime that continues to lie about its capabilities, which is why we need to get eyes on the ground and to make sure that that they do not have the capabilities to be able to do that, because they're going to continue as long as they do to try to target Americans.
Would that be ground troops? Would that be in what
No,
form do you mean on the ground?
well, I'm saying we have allies that are in that region that can be able to it's trust but verify. We have already been able to know and realize we cannot trust Iran as a partner, at least the people who are running the country right now. This is a regime who has murdered tens of thousands of its own citizens that doesn't seem to have a care or a value on life. We need to prevent it from having a nuclear weapon, and quite honestly, to realize and respect the threat and to be able to take it out.
I just want to shift gears a bit, Congresswoman, on a lighter, slightly more hopeful note. The unemployment rate here in Texas recently ticked up to 4.4%, which is slightly above the national average of 4.2. How have you been able to continue the strength of this upcoming job fair in light of a slowdown, not only nationwide, but statewide as well in hiring?
Well, you may see there's a slowdown in hiring, but I'll tell you, we actually are at record numbers right now. This last year was the largest job fair in the country. We had over 35,000 people come out last year. We had 525 businesses that participated, and we had 33,000 job offers. Yesterday, we surpassed that by far. We now have over 620 jobs, businesses that are participating in this job fair. And you know how many people they're hiring? How many jobs they have? Over 66,000 jobs. So we definitely have a lot of places for people to get employment in North Texas. You're seeing businesses that are moving here from all around the world. They want to be in Texas, be able to have that Texas miracle. And I'm just very happy that while things may seem crazy in DC, coming home and doing something like this for our citizens, for our residents, being able to connect people with with opportunities, be able to help our job, our job members, our job creators who are investing in this community, find people to be able to hire. But again, that is 66,000 jobs are going to be on display on August 6th from 11 to 3 o'clock at Globe Life Field. And we'd love people look at the number of businesses that are going to be there. Go to myntxjobs.com. So it's North Texas, ntxjobs.com for more information, to sign up, to register. And I hope you guys bring walking shoes. We're gonna be on all 4 concourses now, Globe Life Field. It is a hectic day, but we look at the job numbers and then we see how healthy and how grateful we should all be to be in North Texas.
Well, we certainly wish everyone who is looking for a job. We hope that they do indeed find what they are looking for. Uh, Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate it. And by the way, those jobs in the past, 30% have been $100,000 and above jobs. So this isn't just a starter entry level. This is from starter to C-suite.
All right, that's an important distinction. Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Take care.